From AccuWeather.com, this is AccuWeather Daily, a brief host-read article. It's weather news in a nutshell. Winter weather has arrived in the U.S. with teeth-chattering chill and even some snow descending across the central and eastern states, while the West has been dry and mild. However, this is just the start of a long season, leaving some to wonder if the first week of December was a preview of what's to come. Meteorological winter started on December 1st, but astronomical winter kicks off on the solstice, which takes place at 4:20 a.m. precisely on December 21st. The weather pattern across the country will flip around the middle of December, opening the door for milder air to thaw areas of the central and eastern U.S. that had early season snow. And meanwhile, rain and mountain snow will return to the west as storms from the Pacific roll through the region. AccuWeather long-range expert Paul Pastelok said that AccuWeather forecasters are favoring heavier rain and snow in the Pacific Northwest and occasionally Northern California. A turbulent pattern may unfold during the week of Christmas, with several storms and the return of wintry conditions. The late December weather will be great news for skiers who plan on hitting those slopes over the holidays, especially across the West, where more mountain snow is likely to pile up. The stormy end to this year will continue right on into next year across the West, where several powerful storms are possible, and the evolving pattern in January will also direct a few storms into Southern California, delivering some rain to Los Angeles and San Diego. However, that does not mean that rain will drench the entire western half of the country. As Pastelok says, drought will continue across the interior Southwest and the southwestern plains as storms tend to stay north of that region for most of the winter. Now, farther east, the return of milder air will lead to a January thaw, which may help to ease heating bills at the expense of worsening conditions for ski resorts. When cold air does chill the Midwest and the Appalachians, resorts may need to rely on making artificial snow to keep the slopes open. While it is expected to be warm along the Gulf Coast and into the Tennessee Valley in late January, severe weather may occasionally rumble across the region, feeding off the mild air and moisture from the Gulf of Mexico. AccuWeather's team of long-range forecasters is warning that the weather pattern could reverse once again around the same time the calendar flips from January to February. The uptick in snowstorms could make February the snowiest part of the winter for some areas of the east, especially where there was no lake effect snow or snow squalls during the opening week of December. Then there is the polar vortex at risk in February, especially late, that could extend winter this year into early spring. Now, if that unfolds, the polar vortex could unleash some of the coldest air of the season during the final month of meteorological winter. However, the month as a whole may not be quite as frigid in the east compared to December. Across the west, the storm track in February may retreat farther north, focusing once again on the Pacific Northwest and the northern Rocky Mountains. This would be a shift from January when some storms were expected to reach Southern California. That's all for now. You can find more stories and regional forecasts at AccuWeather.com, and for your local forecast at your fingertips, download the AccuWeather app. Enjoy the rest of your day. I'll be back tomorrow with more weather news from AccuWeather.